In Games of Thrones, masculinity takes many forms, not just strength but also care, pain, and transformation. In this video, I will use academic theories to unpack how masculinity shifts from power to vulnerability and from dominance to redemption. The first academic term is hegemonic masculinity. The main character representative is robot. Hegemonic masculinity was proposed by Raewyn Conner. She believes that hegemonic masculinity is at the top of the masculinity hierarchy and maintains male dominance through social institutions, such as the workplace, the media, and the family. It encourages men to suppress their emotions, show toughness, rationality, dominance, and independence, and often establish their authority by denying femininity. Although not all men can meet this standard, it shapes gender power relations and becomes the gold standard of masculinity. The second academic term is carrying masculinity. The main character representative is Jon Snow. This is a new type of male image that emphasizes care, emotional expression, tenderness, and responsibility, and encourages men to develop caring, empathy, and non-violent communication skills. It does not completely abandon masculine traits, but internalizes traditional feminine qualities into male identity. And next is self-compassion. The main character representative is Tyrion Lannister. Self-compassion was proposed by Kristen Neff. It refers to the individual treating himself with kindness rather than criticism when facing failure, pain, or defects. It includes three dimensions: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. And next is self-stigma, and the main character representative is Theon Greyjoy. Self-stigma refers to the individual's internalization of the negative labels of society on a specific group, leading to self-depreciation, shame, and behavioral avoidance. For example, men regard seeking psychology counseling as a failure because of the social requirements that they must be strong, thus generating self-stigma. I will use two groups of comparisons to further understand changing masculinity. The first comparison is between the robot and Jon Snow. These two kings are both in power, but have completely different masculinity. Robert, he is a typical character for hegemonic masculinity. He killed Rhaegar Targaryen and overthrew the ruler of the dragon family by force. After becoming king, he still relied on force to govern the country. He was also very arrogant to his family members. He humiliated Queen Cersei, indulged his son Joffrey's violence.
Lord Stark was returning drunk from a brothel when his men attacked Jaime.
Quiet, woman.
Jaime has fled the city. Give me leave to bring him back to justice.
I took you for a king.
Hold your tongue.
He's attacked one of my brothers and abducted the other. I should wear the armor, and you the gown. I shall wear this like a badge of honor.
Wear it in silence, or I'll honor you again.
Finally, Robert's ending was tragic. Queen Cersei hated him to the core, and his son Joffrey became a tyrant. Hegemonic masculinity is like a warm hammer in his hand, smashing others and trapping himself. While Jon Snow's path to become a king is different. Jon Snow, he is a bastard, a bodyguard, and a wild traitor. He has nothing in a traditional male order, but he becomes the final king with his unique personal charm. When faced with the Night King's attack, Jon Snow chose to accept the wild refugees. People saw the image of a future king in him, so they resolutely protected him.
The North remembers. We know no king, but the king in the North whose name is Stark. I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. He's my king, from this day until his last day.
The death of Robert represents the extinction of hegemonic masculinity, while the victory of Jon Snow represents the rise and popularity of this new type of caring masculinity. Let's look at the second group of comparisons. Tyrion Lannister versus Theon Greyjoy. They are both marginalized men. One is a dwarf, mocked as a half-man. The other is a hostage. He was afraid of being considered as a northern softy. Their lives were completely different. For Tyrion Lannister, in an era dominated by hegemonic masculinity, the identity of a dwarf made him the target of endless harm. But he also became a winner by relying on his wisdom. He was rejected by the whole family when he was born, because his mother died during childbirth, and he was born with a spatial appearance and was called a monster. But he developed a strong desires and skills to survive these hardships. When he was tried, he directly confronted the whole audience. My crime is being born a dwarf. But your hypocrisy is even more disgusting.
I'm guilty of being a dwarf.
You are not on trial for being a dwarf.
Oh, yes I am. I've been on trial for that my entire life.
Have you nothing to say in your defense?
Nothing but this. I did not do it. I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. Watching your vicious bastard die gave me more relief than 1,000 lying whores.
Theon Greyjoy. He is a poor little guy who has spent his whole life seeking identity recognition. He fell into a vicious circle of self-stigma, which not only promoted the tragedy of his family, but also led to the tragedy of his own life. Since he was a child, he was called Stark's dog by his biological father. In order to prove himself, his daughter Winterfell, but he was tortured for this until he had a mental breakdown, and eventually lost his name.
Your name is Theon Greyjoy. Last surviving son of Balon Greyjoy, Lord of the Iron Islands. Do you hear me? Theon. Promise me.
Until the last moment of his life, he shouted out the last words, I am a Greyjoy. Games of Thrones have ended, but the war of hegemonic masculinity in reality continues. Boys are bullied in school because of pink clothes. Boys are criticized by everyone for crying. In fact, every boy around us is playing the role of Robert, Theon, or Jon, so let them take it off. Toxic masculinity also builds an oppressive structure against women, constantly hurting women and marginalized groups such as the LGBTQ community. In the Games of Thrones, Queen Cersei must be more cold-blooded than men to survive, and eventually becomes the person she hated the most. And Sansa was sacrificed for political marriages several times. She was humiliated by Joffrey and abused by Ramsay. Toxic masculinity is the public enemy of all people. Only when it disappears can we build a just and equal society.